Good evening, everybody, here in sunny San Antonio, Texas, and welcome to what promises to be an absolutely fantastic game between the Trinity University Tigers and the St. Thomas Celts. My name is Caleb Reed, joined in the Mabry Pavilion by Reed Rosales. The Reed and Reed Show back once again after spring break. And Reed, these are two fantastic teams and a great great triple header that we're going to be watching here today.
Yeah, this will be a tone setter for the series. Trinity gets to play the reigning SCAC champs in St. Thomas. And for the Celts, you see the 10-6 record. They've lost to some really good teams in their non-conference schedule. Some teams that Trinity has also faced. So it'll be a good test because this will decide who really gets to push at TLU for conference this year.
TLU dropping a game in their most recent series, really giving kind of a little bit of blood in the water for everybody circling beneath them, as we have the first pitch outside for a ball there by Jordan Arce. Arce, during the most recent series that Trinity played against La Roche, picked up the win in game number 1. Only went 3 innings during the 5-inning run rule victory, a 9-1 win for the Tigers in that game.
Arce over the break. Pitched very well, only had a speed bump against UMHB where she struggled to find the zone. But she'll have to be dotting it this time, especially against the leadoff hitter who is very fast, in Rebecca Archibald.
Archibald takes this one a bit high for ball number 2. So far this season, Archibald, one of the better players on this St. Thomas team, particularly in terms of her patient at-bats. However, she is also a very big speed threat, leads the team in terms of stolen bases with 10. This one outside for ball 3.
And this is a runner that you don't want to walk to start off the game because she's going to be a pest on the base paths, especially with the other batters coming up in the order being very strong.
Arce checking her wrist before getting ready for the 3-1. Wind up and the delivery swung on and foul off of the Trinity dugout netting. Saw some players ducking there and loads the count at 3-2. Archibald, during St. Thomas's most recent series, that one was a conference series against Austin College, had a fantastic outing. Swing and a miss, strike number 3. Arce got her to go there trying to get the slap hit, and that'll be a good first strikeout for these Trinity Tigers.
She's got the outfielders jumping. It's a good start to the day for Arce, getting strikeout number 1 against a very dangerous leadoff bat in Archibald.
Coming up second is Haley Lupian, the 5'2 sophomore out of Baytown, Texas. Takes the first pitch for strike number 1. Against Austin, Lupian went 1 for 9 during the 3-game series. Did have 3 runs, but only 1 hit and 1 strikeout. Just was just able to make contact with the ball, just unable to get it past the defense.
You saw on your screen for a little bit that Lupian is hitting about 370. One of many bats. The Celts can really swing the stick. Arce has a tough test against a very dangerous bat.
Swung on and hit directly over to Peyton Bowser at third, and that'll be a good second out there. Everybody in the outfield very excited. A very high-energy game. Of course, a game that has a lot of stakes as Trinity is taking on the defending SCAC champions.
They don't call it the hot corner for no reason, but Peyton Bowser, right place, right time, and good reaction speed.
Swing and a miss for strike number 1 against Jalen Simmons, the junior out of Cypress, Texas, listed at 5'6". Simmons playing third base here today. Leads the team in terms of runs. 0-1 here for Arce. Thought about bunt, but too far low and outside.
See, with the batting average of about 380, why she is the leader in runs. She gets on base quite a bit. A dangerous, dangerous 3-hole hitter, followed up by the most dangerous bat in the cleanup spot.
RC with the delivery. Swing and a miss for strike number 2. And RC hoping for a 1-2-3 inning here. Would be a great tone setter for this Trinity team who comes in on a 4-game win streak. Both of these teams coming in on a 4-game win streak. So hoping to carry the momentum for both sides. Either way, one of those streaks will be broken by the end of tonight. Ball outside, a bit low and outside for ball number 2. Simmons also leads the team in terms of doubles and is very, very smart with her at-bats. Leads the team with 12 walks, but swing and a miss for strike number 3. RC gets 2 strikeouts in the top of the first inning to keep St. Thomas scoreless in the first. And you can see the celebration with the team down there on the third base line. Some great momentum to start this game.
Good momentum. RC getting Simmons to kind of chase outside the zone. She's producing a lot of whiffs with her pitches so far, which is what you want to see, because one of RC's weaknesses that she's had throughout her years at Trinity is giving up walks. But this time, nobody on base. Everything's clean.
We're going to not go to break. Instead, we're going to take a look at the Trinity batting lineup coming up for you. At number 1 is going to be Sammy Tagawa, the 5'3" freshman out of Agora Hills, California, who was so impressive not only over the course of this season, but also over the break as well. And then at the number 2 spot, Ella Whitaker, freshman out of Roanoke, Texas. At 3rd, Hannah Boudreau, the designated player. At number 4 is going to be Jordan Williams, the first baseman. And at 5, Jordan RC, the pitcher, playing both ways here today as usual. At number 6 is going to be Sydney Watson, the center fielder. And at number 7, third base, Peyton Bowser. At number 8 is going to be the left fielder, Hayden Del Toro. And finally rounding it off at number 9 is going to be Angela Baltzel, the shortstop. At catcher for the Tigers is Zoe Frosto, who had some great defensive plays over the course of spring break.
Great defensive plays, and the move that catches my eyes is moving Jordan Williams up to the cleanup spot. Usually that's RC's role, but Coach Wittenauer putting some more trust in the senior, and with leading off with 3 freshmen that have either hot bats or great speed.
Tagawa taking strike number 1, and my goodness, what can you not say about Sammy? She has been absolutely fantastic so far this year. Broke the program record before even the halfway point of the season for walks in a single year. And and whenever she does swing the bat, she swings in some pretty big spots, and more often than not comes up with some very, very clutch hits. This one in for strike number 2. Tagawa has not swung yet, and something that she doesn't do very often in early counts. Doesn't even think about swinging until she gets down. This one hit directly to the shortstop as Gonzalez is able to pull that one in. A very hot ball off the bat. And a quick first out for the pitcher, Victoria Sossaman.
Right fielder number 6, Ella Whitaker.
Yeah, Sossaman. It was a good swing by Tagawa, just unfortunate that Gonzalez was there. But that's what you want to be seeing from your hitters. Even if you're lining out, it's still solid contact.
This one is in for strike number 1. Whitaker, as a batter, only has 12 at-bats so far this season, but batting .500, 6 hits on her 12 at-bats. In for strike number 2. She's been used mainly in a pinch runner role, as she does have 11 runs on the season so far. But Coach Wittenauer using her a bit more with the bat. Directly back to Sossaman. The throw over is in time. Very close play there at the plate, but the umpire was there and called her out. And so that'll bring up the 3-hole spot. The designated player, Hannah Boudreau. Boudreau leading the team in almost every batting category you can ask for. Leads the team in average, OPS, most at-bats, most hits, most doubles on the team as well. And she takes this one to the shoulder on the first pitch.
And that's something that you're going to see out of Sossaman, perhaps. She has stats that you saw on your screen, ERA a little above 4. That leads the team for St. Thomas. It's a young pitching staff, much like Trinity, and her stat line reads much like Jordan Arcee's. So the Trinity bats have to be careful because she can generate strikeouts.
This one is in for strike number 1. And mentioning a very young pitching staff like Trinity's, it's also a very small pitching staff. Only 3 pitchers on this Celts team. Something that whenever we were talking, as this one is hit directly back over to Sossaman again, the underhand lob to first, and that'll be the 3rd and final out of this bottom of the 1st inning. So both teams go scoreless in their first tries at the plate, and it'll bring up the top of the 2nd. So we're going to take a quick little break here on the Trinity Tiger Network after this 1st inning, and we will be back to see the St. Thomas Bats coming up. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network. Caleb Reed joined by Reed Rosales here on a beautiful March Friday evening. Sun's starting to go down here in the west. You can see the flag blowing there on your screens, and also on your screens you are seeing the batting lineup for St. Thomas. And at the moment, up to the plate is number 27, the catcher, Chloe Bennett, the 5'7" sophomore out of Waller, Texas. Bennett, the leader on this team, very similar to Hannah Boudreau, who we just saw go up for Trinity, leading the team in almost every single offensive category, including home runs. She led the team in home runs last season and does again this year with 4. Swing and a miss for strike number 1. Definitely trying to poke that one into the outfield a bit.
She's a great bat, and really, she's really sound behind home plate as well as their catcher, a premier framer in the SCAC, so she's a pest on both sides of the ball.
Whenever we were talking with this St. Thomas coaching staff, that's going to be swing and a miss for strike number 2. The manager, Angela Frobe, is nothing but complimentary of Bennett in particular. Just absolutely fantastic, and mentioned her role as a leader for this very young pitching staff. This one a bit too low there for ball number 2, so count evens up at 2-2.
It's one of the most important roles for a catcher, especially being the leader of a young pitching staff, to get them through thick and thin. She's done a great job so far.
Arcee getting ready to deliver the 2-2. Swing and hit into right. It's going to drop, and that will be the first base hit of the game for both teams, as Bennett gets on base once again, leads the team in terms of hits with 23, now 24 on the season. And it'll bring up Mallory Munson, the senior out of Danbury, Texas.
Yeah, when you can hit into opposite field at this level, you're going to be doing very well for yourself. Just a great opposite field hit. Trying to get the Celts something going.
First pitch is not in for ball number 1. About 6:15 here in San Antonio, Texas, the Alamo City. And you can see with the sun going down here, it can throw a little bit of havoc into the fielders, particularly over in left. Swing and a miss for strike number 1 against Munson. Munson so far this season batting .280 and has played in all 16 games so far for the Celts. RC the windup on 1-1. Swing and popped up. Jordan Williams moving over and getting it for the first out of the inning. And keeping Bennett on first.
Maybe a bit fortunate for Williams going over in that shadier part of foul territory. When the sun sets, the outfielders suffer because out in left, Aiden Del Toro has to deal with the sun in her eyes, along with Angela Baltzel over there at shortstop.
The sun being both a curse and a blessing at times, as Bennett thought about going. A great diving play by Tagawa. What a play there by the young second base. And that is going to be a replay that is going to be replayed a lot. Look, absolutely fantastic job by the freshman.
She's just such a special player, and we get her for a couple more years. And we joke about her walk numbers. She's already halfway to the career walks record. So now the joke is, will Jordan Williams get the career walks record first, or will it be Samantha Tagawa this season?
This is a team that loves walking, and RC, a pitcher who does allow some fairly high walk numbers, but is also able to get a lot of batters chasing. And one batter that she's hoping to get chasing is Lindsey Gonzalez, the junior out of Huffman, Texas, who leads the team in terms of doubles. And a double here could send Bennett home if she's able to get one. This one a bit too low for ball number 2. And quick little bat exchange there. Not sure what was going on there. But either way, it's a 2-0 coming up for RC. This one a bit too high for ball number 3. And so now on the 3-0, RC definitely going to have to attack here, as really don't want to get 2 runners on. RC with the wind, and the delivery is in for strike number 1.
Man, this is a position where RC needs to really fight back. She struggled with 3-0 counts this year and last year, because usually it's a 4-pitch walk. But having to fight back against Gonzalez, who's a very dangerous bat, once again.
This one is too high for ball number 4, so RC puts 2 runners on here in the second and brings up the 8-hole spot at Gabby Davila, the junior out of Pearland, Texas, listed at 5'6", playing first base here today for the Celts, batting .286, and did not play against Austin.
And showing button immediately. Davila's going to try and maybe run one out, or maybe pull back and try and swing.
Thought about it, and a bit too high there for ball number 1.
And as usual, the case with lefties and softball, like to get the running start, and you can really leg one out if you put it in the right spot in the infield. But there's some strong arms for the Tigers in that infield as well.
RC getting ready on the 1-0. This one is drawn by Frosto. It's going to allow the runners to move up to second and third. And now a pretty dangerous spot for RC to be in, as there are runners 60 and 120 feet away from scoring the first runs of this game.
Yeah, the ball just slips out of Frosto's glove. It was a tough pick, and now just only the force out at first base. It's a tightrope act.
RC with the delivery is in for strike number 1. Heard some background noise just a few seconds ago. A big congratulations to the Trinity men's tennis team, who just defeated the #1 team in the nation. A massive upset here in San Antonio, and a pretty big momentum booster for an already nationally ranked Trinity tennis team. This one dropped by Frosto again, but it was a bit high there for ball 3. And so definitely a big hitters count here for Davila to be in.
We may see the intentional, unintentional walk get the force outs at every base, maybe a safer play.
Delivery is too low for ball 4, so just as you said, Davila going to be taking the free bag at first. And circle meeting going to be going on here with RC, just trying to get her calmed down a little bit.
And you can see RC's numbers on your screen, 64 strikeouts, 234 walks. It's just sometimes can get a little bit walk happy, but now working with the bottom of the order, the last thing you want to do is bring up Archibald or Lupian or Simmons up with the bases loaded. Really got to get out of the jam here and send it to the bats in the bottom of the second.
Delan Moreno coming up, the 5'5" junior out of Cypress, Texas, who's played in all 16 games for the Celts so far this season, batting .351, very good, despite being down at the bottom of the order. And a hit here would definitely be big for the Celts in this situation to get the first runs of the game. RC with the delivery is in for strike number 1, so count evens up at 1-all. Runner on third, again Bennett. On second, Gonzalez, and on first is Davila.
It's part of the Celts strategy. Never give the pitcher a break. When you have Moreno there in the 9-hole with that batting average, RC cannot take any breaks.
In for strike number 2, and RC definitely being a lot more aggressive here with the ball in her hand. And we'll see what she can do on 1-2. Checking with the dugout, and now going back, the 1-2 hit over to third, and Bowser able to make the great defensive play and keep runs off the board for the Celts. So 2 fantastic defensive plays during the inning, save a run, and it will keep this score scoreless as we go into the bottom of the second here on the Trinity Tiger Network. Don't go anywhere. Trinity Bats up next when we come back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network, as we're going to get a look at the Trinity Bats once again. And the first batter coming up is going to be the pitcher, Jordan Arce, playing both ways, the 5'4" sophomore out of Thousand Oaks, California, who we know what she can do with the bat in her hands, but is also a pretty good speed threat as well for these Trinity Tigers. First pitch is swung on and popped up, and popped back foul.
And the only Tiger with home runs this season, both coming in the same game. And, you know, this is a Tiger team that does have power. It's just the field here plays a bit big sometimes.
Almost identical to the first pitch. Swung on, foul tip back for strike number 2. And RC going to be doing her best here to send this one into the outfield, or maybe out of the outfield, as that one's a bit too low and outside for ball number 1. Could be helped by the wind, which you can see has been whipping the American flag in the background. Pretty windy day here in San Antonio. So that one's low and outside for ball number 2. Pretty windy. Was kind of stormy last night, but it's all cleared up here. All the clouds that were here this morning have been blown away, and perfectly clear skies as RC skies this one foul once again.
Yeah, and the Celts, a lot of good memories here at Trinity University. Bailey Tisdale firing a strikeout to Chloe Bennett to snag them their first SCAC championship here in San Antonio last year in the conference tournament. This is a team with deep aspirations.
This one swung on and fouled over. And of course, Tisdale no longer here. One of many key players for St. Thomas, which are no longer on the team. Of course, Tisdale graduated, one of the best pitchers. Swung on and missed for strike 3, so RC goes down on the 2-2. And we'll bring up in the 6th spot Sydney Watson, who, goodness, Watson had a fantastic series against La Roche in particular, but she has just been a very sneakily good player that I don't think that we've really been talking about enough until the last couple of games.
Yeah, she's been making solid contact all season, but now, as of late, she's really starting to find the gap. And, you know, that's the type of thing you want to see from a hitter, is that progression, because you can have plenty of hitters that just line out to left and line out to right, line out to center, and that's, you don't want them to line out, but it is promising, because once they start finding the gaps, they can really do some damage, and that's what Watson has started to do, and she especially did it over the break.
Watson 5 for 6 against La Roche. In for strike to make it 1-2. 5 for 6 against La Roche. Had 4 runs as well off of those 5 hits and 2 doubles. And getting ready, hits this one up the middle, and the ball is bobbled, and it's going to be safe at first. Gonzalez there unable to haul that one in. And so it will be marked as a base hit for Trinity, and so it will be the first hit of the game for the Tigers. And the first hit of the game for Watson. Coming up next is Peyton Bowser. Bowser, who's been getting a lot more reps so far this season. And, of course, we've seen what she can do defensively over the last couple innings. We'll see what she can do offensively here in the bottom of the 2nd with a runner on. Swing and a miss for strike number 2, and that'll make it a 0-2 count.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive Coach Wittenauer is on the base paths. Sydney Watson, your center fielder, should be a speed threat, and Watson certainly is.
Swung on and hit right back up the middle. Sauceman over to first. It's too high, and it's out of the glove. Watson's going to be going over to third, and it'll be a stand-up play at third. No throw over is made. And so it'll be marked as another error. Now 2 for St. Thomas so far here today. And after they've been averaging less than 1 per game, maybe the situation of these 2 very high in the conference teams, maybe the pressure getting to them a little bit here.
When we talked to Coach Frobes, as she said, and Coach Wittenauer specifically, asking them both about Sossaman, Coach Wittenauer saying that the only difference between a freshman and a senior is knowledge. And when you put a pitcher, especially a freshman pitcher, into high-pressure situations, they may crack.
Del Toro showed bunt there, but foul tipped it off, which will make it an 0-1 here. Del Toro in at the 8th spot. Was the leadoff earlier on in the year, but has been moved around a little bit. This one a bit too far inside for ball number 1.
Del Toro is a very aggressive batter. And if Sossaman wants to generate a strikeout, Del Toro would be target number 1.
1-1 here. Watson has to move out of the way of that one, as it's fouled off.
Aggressive bat. But she also has some really great speed on the base paths if she can get on. It's just about finding the gaps at this point for Del Toro. Very similar situation to Watson.
Del Toro last season led the team in stolen bases. You mentioned that speed, and so far this season does not lead the team in that category, but still does have 7 stolen bases on 7 attempts. And we'll see what Sossaman dials up here. A bit too high, so count is juiced at 3-2. 3-2-1 on that top row of the Trinity University scoreboard, which you can see out in right field. And a big spot here for Sossaman. Swung on and fouled over, and it's going to bounce off the netting.
And just keep pressuring the freshman in the circle. It applies to baseball, it applies to softball, it applies to any batter and any pitcher. The longer you as a batter stay in the box, the more success you're going to have.
Wind up and the delivery on 3-2. Swing and a miss for strike number 3. Del Toro goes down and gets the second out.
Now batting for the Tigers.
Also takes away the sacrifice fly opportunity for the Trinity Tigers. And so if Angela Baltzel wants to get an RBI, she's going to need to do it and get it into play. Over to second. Throw over is in time. 1 pitch and 1 out gets the end of the inning. And so the score will remain 0-0 as Sossaman able to recover after getting a runner just 60 feet away. We are going to take a quick break here on the Trinity Tiger Network. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back to see if St. Thomas can break this scoreless tie. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network. My name is Caleb Reed, joined by Reed Rosales as we get ready for the top of the St. Thomas order. And a look at Rebecca Archibald, the 5'6" sophomore out of Baytown, Texas, playing in left field here today. Archibald, of course, leading the team in terms of at-bats. A very good leadoff for this Celts team. And we mentioned during her first at-bat, a very big speed threat as well. Went down on strikes in her first plate appearance and is down 0-1 once again in her second.
Yeah, RC worked well against her the first time, trying to repeat that performance.
This one is hit over to Baltzel into the shift and over to Williams for the first out of this top of the third inning.
And you can see right here, it's always going to be a close play with the speedy player, but with Baltzel's strength, it's just not even contested at first base.
Whenever Baltzel is able to bring it in, she is absolutely fantastic with her defensive play. It's just being at the shortstop position, one of the most difficult positions in the infield. And as a result, does have a few errors, mainly balls bouncing off the glove. 1-0 here for Lupian, make it 2-0. Or no, sorry, 1-1.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Neely Burns of Trinity Swimming, who went out and won the 400 individual medley swimming national championship So national champion here at Trinity University this year. Very exciting stuff. Hasn't happened for swim and dive in nearly a decade, so big congratulations to her.
An absolutely fantastic accomplishment for Trinity Swim and Dive, a program that really doesn't get as much recognition as I think they should. They are a great powerhouse, not just in the conference, but as we've seen, can also do some stuff nationally as well. This pitch outside for ball number 2, so count evens up at 2-2. Scoreboard almost completely tied. No runs, 1 hit for both teams, but 2 errors for St. Thomas. RC with the 2-2 delivery, hit over to Bowser, and it is off the top of the glove. Baltzel recovered and thought about throwing over, but no throw was made. And so it'll be the second hit of the day for the Celts and puts the runner on first.
One of the things about softball is that it is harder to get a grip on the bigger ball that a softball is than it is in baseball. It causes plays like that to happen sometimes, and Haley Lupion just absolutely ripping that one through the glove.
Next up is Simmons. Simmons hits this one over into right and foul. It was Whitaker moving over to get it. Has to push off the wall there, has to push off the fence. Simmons, the 5'6" junior out of Cypress, Texas, leads the team in terms of runs so far this season. Also leads in doubles and triples, but has the most walks as well. So she can swing the bat, and she can be very patient with the bat in her hands as well. And we'll see what she can do here, getting ready for the 0-2. 1 out here in the top of the third. RC checking her wrist before delivering. Swing and a miss for strike number 3. RC picks up strikeout number 3 so far on the day. A strikeout for every inning so far. And puts them down to 2 outs in this top of the third inning.
Yeah, big strikeout there, especially with the batter that has come to the plate, now tying her shoes. You really don't want to have multiple base runners, or really a base runner in scoring position, with the dangerous cleanup bat.
Chloe Bennett, of course, Big Bat Bennett, one of the better players on this team, not just this season, but also last season as well, was great during her freshman year and has really contributed a lot to the team's success. This one hit over foul into right off the foul netting.
And Bennett doing a really good job making solid contact with all of RC's pitches so far. Against that UMHB series, it felt like every foul ball, even though it was foul, UMHB was making really solid contact. So RC trying to weaken and deaden the contact that she's making.
RC getting ready here on the 0-1. This one hit over into right. Whitaker moving over, and a good defensive play by Whitaker, able to just cup the glove underneath the ball. And it'll be the 3rd out of this top of the 3rd. A dangerous ball off the bat, but a good defensive play by Whitaker ends the inning and keeps the score at 0-0. We are going to take a quick break here on the Trinity Tiger Network before we get a look at the top of the Trinity batting order whenever we come back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network. As we get a look at Samantha Tagawa, the freshman out of Agora Hills, California, who we talk a lot about her walking. Also, as we've seen earlier today, great on defense as well, and a overall very solid cleanup, very solid leadoff player for Trinity.
Really good frame by Bennett there. She's able to steal strikes away. Steal strikes out of the jaws of a ball call.
The delivery gets up and in and hits Tagawa. And so after getting the freshman down to 0-2, Sossaman unable,
Now batting for the Tigers, right fielder number 6,
Sossaman loses
Ella
control of the ball a little bit there
Whitaker.
and puts Tagawa on first. And brings up Ella Whitaker. Whitaker, during her first plate appearance, grounded out back over to Sossaman. Tagawa going to dive back for the bag and in safely.
Yeah, off the bunt into the glove.
Whitaker getting ready on the 0-1 here, shows bunt, and it's going to be a strike.
That is Whitaker's opus up Madarandai right there, just trying to get a bunt down and run it out, but Sossaman very wisely giving her balls low.
This one is in for strike number 3. Bennett, you mentioned it earlier, great job on the framing and
Now
perhaps
batting for the
stealing a
Tigers,
strikeout there for the
designated
first
hitter
out of the
number
inning.
23, Hannah Boudreau.
She's a great framer, but that was an excellent pitch selection there. Just going with the big looping breaking ball. Maybe caught just the side of the plate.
This one off the dugout netting there by Boudreau. Boudreau during her first plate appearance, first pitch, and took one to the shoulder. And getting ready here on the 0-1. This one is in, a bit too low for ball number 1. Wind blowing into the outfield. So if Boudreau is able to get some air underneath this one, it could be big. Swung over and fouled into left.
You can see right there, Boudreau has got so much power in the bat, so much. It's just she needs to find the right launch angle because she can easily deposit one out of the park, but just really needs to find the right angle to hit the ball, but really strong.
This one is in for strike number 3, and Sossaman really doing a good job here cleaning up after kind of a dangerous start to the game. That is strikeout number 4 for the freshman on the day, and brings up Jordan Williams for her second plate appearance.
And something important is that Sossaman, who has been prone to giving walks, hasn't given up one yet.
Swung on and blooped over into left, and it's going to drop before getting picked up by Archibald. And so a quick little base hit there by Jordan Williams. It keeps this game alive and brings up Jordan Arce once again.
Yeah, really big moment for Jordan Arce. She's been swinging at a lot of pitches as of late. She's been getting hits. But has to be careful against a tricky Sossaman.
As Bennett loses the ball there and allows the runner to, allows both runners to move up 60 feet, and now the runners once again in scoring position for the Trinity Tigers. Runners on third and second here with 2 outs. Arce hits this one over into right and foul. Looked good off the bat, but just ended up going foul.
And the important thing here is that there are 2 outs on the board. So you still have the first out at first. Now takes away the force out at third, second, and first that you had before.
This one inside, and it actually got RC's elbow there. And so that'll load the bases here, as we're going to have a little bit of a circle meeting with the shortstop and third base. Before we get a look at Sydney Watson, and boy, this would be a big spot for Sydney to get her first hit of the game. During her first plate appearance, reached on an error, and an error would be enough to send a runner home. Swung on, hit right back up the middle, over to short, and the play at second is in time. And so that will be the end of the bottom of the third. Despite the bases getting loaded, the Celts defense able to come in and keep runners off the scoreboard. And so this score will remain at 0-0 whenever we get ready for the top of the fourth inning here on the Trinity Tiger Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network here from San Antonio, Texas, the Alamo City. As we get ready for the top of the fourth inning during this great matchup between the Trinity University Tigers and the University of St. Thomas Celts. Up next for the Celts is Mallory Munson. Munson, the senior out of Danbury, Texas, fouls this first pitch off into right.
RC has been working well so far. She's had to work her way out of a couple of jams. She's issued 2 walks, needs to clean that up a bit more. She'll try to work it in the heart of the order.
RC checking the wristband and now getting ready for the 0-1. Swung on and fouled back right off of the foul pole. And if it weren't for that foul pole, would have been a little bit dangerous from our position here up in the pavilion.
Yeah, I would have had to make a play on it, and you don't want to see that.
This big desk that's right in front of us probably would have had something to say about it too. You got to make sure to watch your knees. RC with the delivery, swing and a miss for strike number 3. RC gets number 4 on the day for herself, and puts down the first batter of the inning.
Player number 21, Isabel Charles.
Up next is going to be Isabel Charles. Charles, a sophomore out of Houston, Texas, the designated player here this evening. This one is in for strike number 1. And Charles, during her first plate appearance, lined out over to Tagawa, who made that absolutely fantastic defensive play. RC swing and a miss for strike number 2. RC doing a great job with her delivery so far here during this one.
Yeah, she's working really quick, too. Trying to keep the up-tempo going.
54 pitches so far during this one for RC. This one a bit too high off of the glove of Frosto. And just looking around at the field now, the lights have come on here in San Antonio as the sun is starting to set. RC looking over to the dugout and checking her wrist again before the 1-2. Fouled off. Just barely got the end of the bat there. And that'll keep the count at 1-2.
And you gotta love the chemistry between these Tigers. Every infielder, every time, stepping in just 1 or 2 steps to give RC some good affirmations for the next pitch.
RC setting and delivering on the 1-2, swing and foul once again.
And this is beginning to be a good at-bat for Charles, because even though you're down in a 1-2 count, you're fighting, getting more information about RC. And the more information you can pass along to Gonzalez, Davila, and Moreno, the better.
RC getting ready here for the 1-2 once again. A bit too far inside there. Charles has to jump out of the way of that one.
And you also make it so that eventually the pitcher has to make a mistake. And that one there, trying to go a little too high.
Count is even at 2-2. And the pitch swung on, popped up. Williams moving over for it and able to get the play in foul territory for the second out of the inning.
Once again, another good play by Jordan Williams. Very sound with the glove. It's not that easy of a play. Got to plant your feet in good position in a quick amount of time.
Lindsey Gonzalez, the junior out of Huffman, Texas at 5'5", comes up next in the 7 spot. Lined out during her first plate appearance. And goes down 0-1 here in the top of the 4th. RC getting ready here on the 0-1. This one fouled off into right.
Important thing for RC is that she's getting ahead in the count very early on. Another 0-2 count against a Celt. It's what's been working for her because she puts herself at the advantage as the Celts are trying to catch up.
This is a Celts team that has had to catch up not just during this game, but as this one's a bit high and outside, has had to catch up over the course of the season. Started 1-5, a very, very rough start for the defending conference champions, but since then they've gone on a 9-1 tear and are coming into this one on a 4-game win streak. So they've done absolutely fantastic for themselves after that slow start and hoping to continue here. This one a bit too far inside to even the count at 2-2. All 2s on the top row of the Trinity scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here in inning number 2 times 2. RC with the delivery is too low for ball 3, so count moves to full.
With the full count, just want to make it a 1-2-3 inning. RC, who had the advantage, now has to be a bit more precarious with their pitch selection.
Gonzalez reached on a walk in her first at-bat and will reach on a walk in her second as the 1-2-3 inning does not happen here for RC. Coming up next is going to be Gabby Davila. Davila, the 5'6" junior out of Pearland, Texas, playing first base here this evening. Batting .286 on the season, and again, did not play against Austin, but did reach on a walk in the second here today. Runner goes. The play is not going to be in time. The throw just a little bit off the mark there, as Baltzell had to move over a bit too far to get it, and allows the runner to make it all the way up to second and into scoring position.
It's a classic play. Swing to mess up the catcher's timing on the throw. It was a strong throw by Frosto, but just one little swing can cause so much problems for a catcher.
RC on the 0-1, in for strike number 2.
And once again, in an 0-2 count with a Celt batter just trying to put away Davila.
Gonna have a bit of a meeting here. Some discussions going on with the umpires. And not entirely sure what the discussion is. I think they might be... Actually, I'm not sure what they're talking about.
Maybe Coach Frobe's wanted an illegal pitch on the last pitch. Or maybe she's wondering about the count. Could be a number of things. We don't have live audio down there, so whatever it is, nothing has changed about the game.
RC checking the wrist before the 0-2. Runner on second. The delivery swung on and fouled off. Gonna bounce off the foul netting and then just pop off of the Trinity dugout. Of course, that sheet metal making a pretty loud noise.
And a runner in scoring position for the Celts. If they could two-out rally and drive in Gonzalez, that'd be very big in a game that's so far been a pitcher's duel.
Wind really starting to whip around in the outfield right now as RC gets set on 0-2 once again. Swing and put right back over to RC. Throw over to first, and that will be the end of the top of the fourth inning. So the score remains tied at 0-0. And we will see if Trinity is able to break that tie whenever we come back on the Trinity Tiger Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network. Caleb Reed joined by Reed Rosales here on the Reed and Reed Show once again here from the Alamo City. As up now is Peyton Bowser.
Now the Tigers have had a couple of good opportunities so far with runners on base, just needing to string together a hit to drive in a run. And I think they've done a much better job on offense this time around in terms of working with base runners, considering that they haven't drawn a walk today.
Sossaman delivering on 2-0, gets it in for a strike. Bowser reached on a throwing error by Sossaman in the second inning, but was unable to go farther than first before the end of the inning. That'll be in for strike number 2, and so count evens up at 2-2. Bowser getting ready here, showing bunt before pulling back. Swing and tipped foul. Fouled back.
It's that classic Tiger focus method of getting into that bunter stance before pulling back for your actual hit.
Bowser went 2 for 5 against LaRoche. Hits one over to third. The throw over is in time, and that'll be the first out of this bottom of the fourth inning.
Yeah, you'll get very few balls past Simmons. She is a very solid third baseman at that hot corner. Takes it in, makes a great throw, It's easy as that.
Sauceman getting ready now to face Hayden Del Toro. Got Del Toro down on strikes in her first plate appearance. And Del Toro hoping to avoid the same fate here in her second. Goes down 0-2 here after fouling both of those pitches off to left.
As we said before, she's an aggressive bat. If it's anywhere near the zone, she'll try and drive it out into the outfield.
Definitely a big pull hitter here as this one's outside for ball number 1. And on the 0-1, on the 1-2, Sauceman delivers once again. This one is a bit outside for ball number 2.
Now showing more patience, not wanting to fall victim and have another K next to her name in the score sheet.
This one is hit over into right, and as the fielder is able to reach up and make a pretty good play, so Del Toro able to make contact on it, just unable to get the ball down. And it now brings up the shortstop, Angela Baltzel, the sophomore out of Antioch, California at 5'3", who is hoping to get the second hit of the day for these Trinity Tigers. First pitch in for strike number 1.
Great play out there by Mallory Munson. Whenever you get a line drive hit in softball, it's always harder than it looks.
First pitch a bit high and inside there. Second pitch a bit high and inside there. And so that'll make it a 1-1 count. Evens up here. This one that clips the outside corner of the zone. And so evens the count up once again at 1-1. Baltzel showing bump before pulling back. Hits this one over to first and is through the gap between the two fielders. Baltzel going to get the second hit of the day for the Trinity Tigers. And it will be...
Next up for the Tigers, the second baseman, Sammy.
And it'll be another opportunity here for Samantha Tagawa. Of course, the freshman out of Agora Hills, who we've been talking about so much throughout this game. Back up to bat for the Trinity Tigers.
And it looks like we have a pinch hitter on deck as well.
This one is swung on and fouled.
So if she gets the opportunity, we will see Marina De La Luna coming up instead of Ella Whitaker in the 2-hole spot.
Tagawa, of course, leading the team, leading the Trinity program in walks, on pace to finish the season with the 4th most strikes in program history, on pace to finish with about 49 walks. And the all-time program record is 50 for a career. This one is fouled off and just barely clips that foul netting. And so it is called foul. Maybe about another 5-6 inches the other way, and would have been able to make a play on it. Getting ready here on the 1-2. Tagawa swings and rockets this one into the Trinity dugout netting.
Tagawa has shown with her patience that she does have quite the bat, being able to hit and play small ball in very good situations, and even able to rock it out into the outfield when needed.
This one a bit too far outside for ball number 2. And all 2s on that top row. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Tagawa takes this one, swings, and fouls it off.
But the important thing is the contact. Just all those foul balls have been pretty solid, other than the little pop-up that went into the netting. That's what you want to see. Eventually, she'll time it right.
The delivery, this one is hit over into left, past the glove of the shortstop. They're going to send the runner home, and it is going to be the first run scored of this game. Trinity taking a 1-0 lead here off the bat of Samantha Tagawa.
Samantha Tagawa, the freshman, is just unbelievable sometimes. Rips it, perfect placing, gets to the wall. Just so clutch. The team has had the clutch factor thanks to these freshmen. And now they turn to a senior to try and continue the run.
Marina De La Luna coming up here in the pinch hitter spot. De La Luna so far this season batting 122 in her 16 games so far this year. And this would be a pretty big spot to break the drought that has been plaguing her so far this year. Sossaman with the delivery, and it's fouled off into right. And if the windows were open here, you'd be able to hear the Trinity dugout getting very loud in the background, cheering their teammates on. This one a bit high and inside there on De La Luna. And gonna make it a 2-1 count.
No matter on or off the field, it's clear that De La Luna and Williams are leaders in that dugout.
Sossaman with the delivery, and this one is fouled back once again.
Impact is felt defensively when she's in. Very strong infielder, and she can play outfield as well. Very versatile.
Sossaman getting ready on the 2-2. Bit too far outside and loads the count. 3-2 here coming up for De La Luna. And here we go, getting ready. Swung on, hit into center field. It's going to drop, and it's going to bring another run home. Marina De La Luna with an RBI double as well, and Trinity is rolling in the bottom of the fourth.
Maybe this is the moment. Marina De La Luna, big spot, big swing, gets it to the outfield. It reminds me so much of last year. She did that quite a bit. And now, question marks coming from the circle for St. Thomas as the Tigers have scored 2 runs in a game that's been a pitcher's duel so far.
Trinity has stolen the momentum here in the bottom of the fourth, and you can see the excitement, the lights flashing in this celebration for that RBI, and perhaps maybe trying to throw off St. Thomas a bit as well, as the circle meeting gives us a little bit of time to kind of go over some of the information from these two teams. It's been a great game so far, obviously in terms of weather. Outside, it's a bit over 75 degrees, 77 here with a high of 85, and it was raining yesterday, last night specifically, but completely clear here this afternoon, and it's something that actually had an effect down in Houston for St. Thomas. A lot of rain causing some flooding over the last few days, making practices a little bit more difficult, and thankfully they were able to get here. Everybody on campus was safe, of course, and all of our thoughts are with all the people affected down in Houston by that flooding, and it's something that unfortunately happens a lot down there in the Bayou City.
Trinity working with De La Luna on second base. She has some speed. She is perhaps a more unsuspecting speed threat for the Tigers. A well enough placed ball by Boudreau will send her home.
Boudreau swings on this one. It's over the glove. It drops again. Another base hit. They're sending De La Luna home. The throw not in time. Fantastic play as the Trinity Tigers continue their big fourth inning and are really starting to attack the freshman Sossaman.
And everybody in the dugout is so hyped right now. The hits keep on coming. The runs keep on coming. Everything is going right for the Tigers right now in the bottom of the fourth. And they're just looking to keep it going with another senior up to bat.
Hannah Boudreau extends her lead for Trinity in the RBI category. As now we're getting another stoppage here. We might be getting a substitution. Not entirely sure yet. Sossman looking towards that gate in right field, and as the coach Frobes is as well. And that will be the end of the day for Victoria Sossman. Sossman ends it with 3.2 innings pitched on the day, 5 hits allowed, and 3 runs, all of them coming in the 4th. Also ends the day with 4 strikeouts as well, but those 2 doubles and the single that brought in those 3 runs were just too much for St. Thomas to handle, and in a close game like this could be the difference. So trying to see who's coming up to pitch next. It's going to be number 11, Lauren Trott. Trott comes into this game with a 6.46 ERA, 2.46 WHIP, and a 1-1 record on the year so far. We're going to take a quick break here on the Trinity Tiger Network, and whenever we come back, we will see if Trinity can continue the big inning that they've had so far. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network. Caleb Reed, joined by Reed Rosales here up in the Mabry Pavilion. And after St. Thomas finishes their pitching substitution and puts Lauren Trott on the in the circle, we're going to see what Jordan Williams can do with the bat in her hand.
And I think it was the right decision to put Trott in this situation, because when you have a freshman pitcher in the circle and they start getting hit, they tend to get hit a lot more as momentum starts to shift. So seeing a new pitcher in the circle, just trying to hope to disrupt the Tigers' momentum and stop the bleeding in the bottom of the 4th.
Trott delivers here on 2-0. Going to make it 3-0 here, as she's just been unable to find the zone so far. Maybe a little bit gun-shy about pitching to such a dangerous hitter. But she's going to have to, as a walk here would put 2 runners on. This one too low, and so Williams going to take the free bag, and Williams continuing a fantastic time. Of course, got the coveted double pedestrian against the last conference opponent that Trinity faced.
And a big congratulations to her, as that is the career record for walks, now in the hands of Jordan Williams.
Absolutely fantastic for her. It's going to be walk number, I'm sorry, I just lost it on my page here. It's going to be walk number 17 on the season for her. And a fantastic accomplishment for the senior out of Clayton, California. Up next is Jordan Arce, sophomore out of Thousand Oaks, California. Swings on this one, hits it into the outfield, moving over, going back, and right at the warning track is Moreno. Almost went out there for her 3rd home run of the season, but just barely missed. And that will end a very hot bottom of the 4th inning for the Trinity Tigers, as they score 3 to take the lead here against St. Thomas. And we'll see what they can do whenever we come back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network. Caleb Reed joined by Reed Rosales here as St. Thomas now finds themselves trailing after a big fourth inning by the Trinity Tigers. And Jordan Arce in the circle. Going to be hoping to keep St. Thomas off the boards, as she has done for the last 4 innings of work. And coming up first to the plate is going to be the center fielder, Moreno.
Yeah, and it's quite the big task for Arce as the Celts excel at hitting. They're a dangerous team every time they step in the batter's box.
This one is a bit low for ball number 1.
And for Arce, it's even bigger mentally to keep it scoreless because the bats for Trinity have given her a fort for her to hold down.
Arce getting ready here on the 1-1. Drops this one about a foot in front of the plate.
And just really needing to fix the command for a moment and get back to competitive pitches because those balls that hit the turf before they reach the plate, those are not competitive.
Getting ready here on the 2-1. In for strike number 2 and evens the count at 2-all. Moreno so far today, only 1 plate appearance and lined out in that first plate appearance. Hit it directly over to Peyton Bowser at third. That one was in the top of the 2nd inning. Swung on and missed, and that is going to be strikeout number 5 of the day for Jordan Arce. Thought that it got off the tip of the bat there a little bit, but
Top of the order for St. Thomas.
ended up
Left fielder Rebecca Archibald.
being a swing and a miss. And strikeout number 5 for Arce during this game. A fantastic season for her as well. Going to be strikeout number 67 on the year. This one a bit too low for ball number 1.
Yeah, just able to get that foul tip strikeout. Always feels good as a pitcher because you kind of tease the batter like, you make contact with it, but you're still out.
Arce checking the wrist here on the 1-0. Getting ready to go against Archibald. This one a bit too far outside. As Rebecca Archibald, the 5'6" sophomore out of Baytown, Texas. Of course, the big speed threat. Looking to get on base here. She struck out and grounded out in her first 2 plate appearances, but is in a good position here on 3-0.
Yeah, you really, really, really don't want to walk Archibald. She hasn't had an opportunity to show why she's such a dangerous base runner because she hasn't reached base yet. And for Arce, you just can't give her the opportunity to.
Arce winds up and delivers on 3-0 in for strike number 1, and now puts it at the hitter's count of 3-1.
Yeah, and a very obvious red light take there. We'll see if Archibald tries to swing at something or she plays the odds.
Arce delivers on 3-1, swung on and fouled off, so count moves to full now. And Arce, after going down 3-0, perhaps just 1 strike away from getting out of this one.
And that's all Arce needs to do is fight, fight, fight. She's a workhorse in the circle. She's gone to illustrious lengths to get batters out.
See what Arce can do here on 3-2. Bit too far outside. And so it's going to be a very, very long at-bat, but a walk for Archibald, and will bring up Haley Lupian once again. Lupian, the 5'2" sophomore, also out of Baytown, Texas. 2 Baytown natives getting the 1-2. Throw over is not going to be in time. It actually goes past the glove of Tagawa. As we mentioned, that big speed threat that Archibald the big speed threat that Archibald presents coming into play for the Celts once again.
Yeah, just able to swipe second base there. The throw was competitive, but just a bit too much traffic on the base paths. Now just got to focus on getting the next batter out if you're RC.
RC getting ready to deliver the 1-0 here. Bit too low for ball number 2.
See if we see another visit to the circle if she goes into another 3-0 count. She's really trying to take command back.
RC winds up and delivers the 2-0. This one is hit into left, and great defensive play by Hayden Del Toro, using that speed to get up there and make the play. And this Trinity defense coming in clutch once again to keep hits and potentially keep runs off the board.
And there's only so much I can say about this outfield before I sound like a broken record, but all 3 of them out there have made stellar plays over the season, and that's just another one to add to the highlight reel.
RC getting ready here against the 3-hole hitter Jalen Simmons. Simmons so far today has struck out in both of her plate appearances, struck out in the top of the first, and struck out in the top of the third. And hoping to do better here. This one is hit right back up the middle into center field. Watson is going to throw it in, but the run will score. And so St. Thomas finally getting a run on the board in response to Trinity, and makes a score now 3-1 in favor of the Tigers.
Yeah, great piece of work there. Hitting it just where nobody is, and that's the best place to hit it. Gets down. Thankfully, not extra bases for Jordan RC, only working with the runner at first base. But with Chloe Bennett, sometimes it doesn't matter. She can easily leave this park.
This one, as the runner goes, Simmons able to get over to second in time. Bennett, of course, we've been talking about what she could do with the bat so much, and it was a good play there by good play by Ella Whitaker in the top of the third inning to get her out. As the ball gets away from Frosto, Simmons gonna move over to third.
And once again, RC just losing control of command, trying to get the grip back as much as she can, but you're starting to see St. Thomas having more success with the bats as RC becomes a bit more wild as the game progresses.
RC getting ready to deliver here. This one swung on and fouled back.
And this game changes with one good swing of the bat, although it is important to note that during that run through the SCAC tournament, only one person hit a home run in the entire SCAC tournament when it was hosted by Trinity, and none of them were on St. Thomas.
This is a small field that plays like a massive field, and Frosto doing a good job hanging on to that one, as that'll make it 3-1 here for RC and the Tigers. RC going to check the wristband again before getting ready to deliver on 3-1. Wind up in the delivery, swing and a miss, and loads the count at 3-2. And the payoff pitch going to be coming here for Chloe Bennett.
And decisions. No sacrifice fly opportunity. Bennett needs to put one down if she wants to score Simmons.
This one a bit too far outside, and so Bennett will walk to put runners on the corners here and bring up Mallory Munson.
Yeah, they tried to get Bennett to chase on a ball that broke off the plate, but, you know, she's not biting at that, the sound bat that she is. And as a catcher, she's the one who's going to know the zone the best when she steps up to home plate.
RC getting ready here to face Munson. Munson flew out in foul territory as Bennett is going to run over there. A little bit of hesitation there, is trying to figure out what Frosto was going to go with. And instead, Trinity just going to let her take the free bag. Of course, with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Do not need a double play here. RC checking the wristband before delivering the 0-1. Is a bit too far high and outside, and it evens the count at 1-all.
Yeah, just trying to bait the throw from Frosto, but Frosto having a better mind than that, as a throw 2-second would have immediately sent Simmons running home.
RC with the wind and the delivery. This one swung on and fouled back off the netting.
So now a better count for RC, a 1-2. To strand the runners on second and third would be massive.
RC in very favorable position here, getting ready for the 1-2. The set, the wind, and the delivery. This one is fouled off to the right. As a team, this is a Trinity team that has really had a fantastic turnaround over the course of this season. Of course, last season struggled pretty mightily, and they have already beaten their win total from last year, standing at their 15-7 record at the moment.
Chloe Bennett just tying her shoes again. Never want to run with loose laces. Blow out a tire easily.
She had to tie her shoelaces before her first plate appearance as well, or I think it was during her first plate appearance in the second inning before she flew out in foul territory. This one a bit high as the ball gets away from Frosto, and Simmons is going to slide in and get the second run of the day for St. Thomas. A costly error here as now the runner's going to come in from third, and that will tie the game.
Yeah, just bad situational play by Trinity. They thought the play was over and dead, but it wasn't. And once again, RC trying to pitch high, but just too high, misses the spot. Not much Frosto can do, and just not being aware of the situation cost the Tigers the lead that they got.
A big mental error there by Trinity, as now we're seeing Coach Widnauer coming out to the circle. Don't think it's going to be a substitution because RC hasn't been pitching particularly badly. It's just been a big situational miscue for the Trinity Tigers, and maybe just trying to get everybody calmed down here and just going to try and get things going.
RC, this entire inning, has struggled with command in particular. And, 5 walks, really all the damage that is being done on the base paths. Some of it stems from the free passes that get issued. Just need to recenter, refocus, and get back in this game again. But that was just a mental lapse in judgment of what the play was. You got to be aware of the base runners no matter what the situation is.
Munson here on the 2-2 pops this one up and fouled back. So count remains at 2-all, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. And just like that, this game is tied once again. So after Trinity broke out a 3-run lead, St. Thomas scores 3 in the top of the 5th to even it up. And Munson hoping to keep the party going here and perhaps take the lead. This one a bit high and outside, so count moves to full at 3-2. And RC really wanted to avoid her 6th walk of the day. Has 5 walks so far, 5 strikeouts as well. And we'll see where RC decides to go here on the 3-2. This one is hit into center field. Watson moving over, unable to get there in time. It drops just short of the warning track. The throw in, as it's going to be a stand-up double for Mallory Munson. And St. Thomas continuing the party here in San Antonio.
And now there's movement towards the pen for the Tigers, as I thought the message was made clear that it was ride or die with RC, but now maybe second questioning that. But RC just still struggling to place the pitches, and the Celts are really punishing her now.
It's something that we've seen a lot once the game starts to get away, is that is a wild pitch that allows Munson to advance up to third. Once the game starts to get away from RC, it really gets away fast, and it's looking like it's starting to get away here, as now score tied at 3-all with a runner on third as well.
Man, they're willing to let RC stick it out there. You know, a lot of balls have gotten past Frosto, but there's only so much she can do when consistently missed spots are getting into increasingly difficult places for her to try and snatch the ball.
RC getting ready here, checking the wrist once again before getting ready to deliver on the 1-1. This one hit into center field. Pop-up Watson moving over and able to make the grab. And so that will bring an end to a 3-run top of the fifth inning for St. Thomas. This game is tied, and we will see if Trinity is able to break the tie whenever we come back on the Trinity Tiger Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network. Trinity scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning, but then allowed 3 in the top of the 5th to tie this game up at 3-all. And we'll see what Sydney Watson is able to do, perhaps breaking this tie with the bat in her hands. 0 for 2 so far in the day. Has reached on an error in the second and then reached on a fielder's choice in the third. And we will see if she is able to get her first base hit of the day. And looks like a substitution as it was a motion made by the umpire up to the box. 33 for 15. There's not a 15 here on our, there's not a 15 currently on the field for Trinity. Swing and a miss for Watson. And it looks like it's actually a Trinity defensive substitution looking at the roster. So Frosto is going to be coming out and will be replaced by Leia Gonzalez whenever Trinity goes on defense. 1-1 here, hit by Watson over to second. The throw over is in time. And so that'll be a quick first out of the inning, as it will now bring up the third baseman, Peyton Bowser.
And the Tigers really need to work smart against a new pitcher in the circle and Lauren Trott. Got to find a way to score another run, not make it so a fresh arm comes in and shuts you down.
Trott came in towards the end of the bottom of the 4th inning. Got the final out there after Trinity had scored those 3 runs, and Trinity really got after the start of Victoria Sossaman. This one is hit by Bowser into the gap in the outfield, and so that'll be a good first hit of the inning and a good first hit of the day for Peyton Bowser, who reached on an error in the second and then grounded out in the 4th. Coming up next is going to be Hayden Del Toro, who is 0 for 2 so far in the day, but a good hit into the outfield here would definitely get Bowser moving. This one in for strike number 1. A good little off-speed pitch to catch Bowser looking, or sorry, to catch Del Toro looking.
And it was just such a smart hit by Peyton, just putting it in play.
As this one is directly to the shortstop. Play over at second is made, so the force out is made at second, but the speedy Hayden Del Toro gets on first. Here with 2 outs. Coming up next is going to be Angela Balsa, who's 1 for 2 on the day so far. Hit a single in the 4th as Del Toro is going to go for it. The throw over, not in time, as Del Toro slides in feet first to get the stolen base and get rid of the force out at second.
Yeah, great jump and a dangerous arm behind the plate with Bennett. She's really just such a great overall around catcher.
Bennett able to haul this one in for strike number 1, so count is even at 1-1. And so now getting ready here. Trot with the delivery. This one hit. It is past the glove of the second baseman. Del Toro rounds third, and Del Toro scores to take the lead for the Trinity Tigers. A great base hit by Angela Balsa that was just out of reach there of Lupien. And Trinity retaking the lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, just sneaking it right past the glove of Lupien. And the Tigers take the lead yet again in this game. And now this time they'll try to look to keep it.
Tagawa coming up to the plate now. She is 1 for 2 on the day. Lined out in the 1st, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and then hit a RBI double in the 4th. 0-1 count coming up here for Trot, and able to catch Tagawa looking. Getting ready for 0-2.
The count usually not a concern for Tagawa.
Swing and a miss. Caught her swinging on the outside and able to get the freshman to chase it, as that will be the end of the 5th inning. But Trinity able to do the necessary damage they need as they take the 4-3 lead here in San Antonio. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back on the Trinity Tiger Network getting ready for the top of the 6th inning. Getting ready here for the top of the 6th inning. Caleb Reed joined by Reed Rosales here up in the Mabry Pavilion. Here for what has turned into a fantastic game. Was a pitcher's duel in the first 4 innings, and ever since then it's been a pretty good offensive showcase for both of these teams, Trinity and St. Thomas, playing here in their 2nd SCAC conference series of the season so far. Other scores for the SCAC, TLU is playing Dallas tonight, and Southwestern also going up against Shriner. Both of those games ongoing.
For RC, just needing to come back here, blank mind, blank check, You have the lead again. You just need to go and pitch your stuff and work your way back into this count.
This one in for strike number 1 here was 2-0, now 2-1.
Because this is the important thing, is because the more you see a pitcher, the better you're going to hit the pitches that they throw. And as a pitcher, you just got to play chess and beat them at their own game.
This one swung on, hit into the outfield. Watson moving over, and Watson able to get it. Maybe a little bit off balance there on that catch, but able to get the first out of the inning regardless. And now brings up Gabby Davila. Davila so far today reached on a walk in the second and then grounded out in the fourth. And hoping to get her first base hit of the day here in the sixth. Score update from the rest of the conference. TOU crushed the University of Dallas 15-0. That one ending in 5 innings, and no update from the Southwestern Shriner game as of yet. Swung on, hit over to Tagawa. Tagawa able to get it over to Williams, and 2 very quick outs here in the top of the 6th, as RC is doing her best to keep the score level here with just a couple of innings left to go potentially.
Now batting number 25, Isabella Hernandez.
Yeah, and really what you need to do is just prevent the 2-out rally. If you can do that, you're in a good shape if you're Jordan RC.
There was movement in the Trinity bullpen, and there still is, though RC, of course, remaining in despite giving up those 3 runs. All of them were credited as earned runs against RC.
Now, getting a new look is Isabella Hernandez, a pinch hitter for the Celts.
Hernandez looks at this one for for strike number 1. The 5'5" sophomore out of San Antonio, Texas, here for her somewhat homecoming game. Batting .333 on the season and went 1 for 3 at Austin. Swing and a miss for strike number 2, and RC has the sophomore flailing here and hoping to get a very good 1-2-3 inning here, as Hernandez might have to shorten up here on 0-2. Wind up, and the delivery is just outside for ball number 1. It looked inside, but I guess it had just missed, and so it'll make the count 1-2 here. This one swung on, hit over the outstretched glove of Jordan Williams, and it will be a base hit.
Base hit, Isabella Hernandez.
As there has been quite a bit of defensive movement
The left fielder, Rebecca
for the Trinity Tigers. Getting a pinch runner here, and it looks like, I think I saw, actually I'm not sure who it is.
Pretty sure it's Moreno coming back in her spot. They're choosing to pinch run the original hitter in the 9-0 spot and put her on first base. But, you know, the Celts using that opportunity. It looked like a really good pitch. Looked like it clipped the zone. Umpire said it didn't. Took the next one, get a base hit.
Swung on that one, and we'll make it 0-1 here.
Now Archibald's job is to just keep the inning alive. It's an awkward position to be in when you are that speed threat for your team.
Wind really starting to pick up here as it swung on it. Runner goes in. Throw is not made in time. A good dive there by Moreno, as we're going to get a replay of it here. A very close play at second, but Moreno able to reach in just enough.
Yeah, a good strike from Peyton Bowser in the catcher position now.
RC, the pitch in looks like it was in the zone, but just a little bit too high. And so that'll make it 1-2 once again here. Arcee's found herself in 0-2 and then pitched a ball in 2 consecutive at-bats. And we'll see if this time she can get the out on the 1-2. Try to get the slap bunt and foul. And so ball remains in the hands of Arcee.
And they're going to call that one a swing. So which is important because if they did call it a bunt, she would be out. But instead they call it a swing.
Arcee getting ready to deliver on 1-2 once again. Archibald struck out in the first, grounded out in the third, and then reached on a walk in the fifth. This one hit over to De La Luna. The throw over is in time, and Trinity able to prevent St. Thomas from scoring during the inning and keeping the lead 4-3 in favor of the Tigers. We are going to take a quick break here on the Trinity Tiger Network, and we will be right back getting ready for the bottom of the sixth whenever we come back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network as we get a look at the third baseman leading off the the bottom of the sixth inning. Marina De La Luna coming up to bat. De La Luna came in a pinch hitter role and then had an RBI double out to right field in the fourth. One of 3 runs that were scored during that fourth inning. And hoping to do something similar here. Of course, no base runners on, but a big hit here could potentially start a rally for the Tigers as they try to extend their lead, which they hold over the St. Thomas Celts. Delivery, this one hit right up the middle, and it's going to be a base hit for De La Luna. 2 base hits on the day for the senior, and potentially breaking that drought that she's been in all season long.
And as the sun sets, the dusk sky comes out, the moon starting to rise, De La Luna on first base as the evening comes to shine down here at Trinity University. Great base hit, trying to get something started.
The sun goes down and the stars come out to play here in San Antonio. And, of course, here in the heart of Texas, the stars are always big and bright, and De La Luna certainly fits that mold. As now we're getting a look at Hannah Boudreau, the freshman designated player who, I mean, we can't say enough about her, we cannot say enough about her abilities with the bat in her hand. She's been so fantastic during her first year as a Tiger. 1-1. This one popped up in the infield, and a easy play there for Gabby Davia. And the first out of this bottom of the sixth inning.
Jordan Williams.
Yeah, just great play there. Trot gets Boudreau to swing under it. It's an easy play for Davila every day of the week.
It's now Jordan Williams who most recently just set a new program record for career walks in her last at bat in the fourth, comes up to the plate 1 for 2 on the day so far, grounded out in the first inning. Got a single in the third, and then got a walk in the bottom of the fourth. This one hit over to second. The throw over is in time and will be good for the second out of the inning, but De La Luna advances 60 feet to second to put a runner in scoring position for Jordan Arce.
Yeah, and you really want to drive in De La Luna here. Go up by 2 rather than just up by 1, because if you look who's due up, it's Lupion, Simmons, and Bennett.
Ball 1 against Jordan Arce. Arce so far tonight struck out in the second, was hit by a pitch in the third, and then flew out in the fourth. Swing and a miss here on the 1-0 to make it strike number 1.
And Trot has been working the breaking ball so well. She's gotten several Tigers to completely whiff.
This one is too low for ball number 2, and will make it a 2-1 count.
Arce, you know, reached the warning track last time she was up.
Swing and a miss for strike number 2 and make it a 2-2 count. Trot against Austin. Played in game number 2, only appeared for an inning. Gave up 2 hits during that inning, but did collect the overall win for St. Thomas, as that one ended in a 10-1 final in 5 innings. Getting ready here on the 3-2 full count for Arce. The wind and the delivery swung on and fouled off.
Just reset the play. It's a high-stress situation, but for Arce, trying to make the magic happen.
We'll see what Jordan Arce is able to do here on the full count. Payoff pitch coming. Swung on, hit over to right, moving back over, and able to get it. What a fantastic play there by Munson. And that will be the end of the bottom of the 6th inning. And now St. Thomas going to be coming up to the plate. One final inning to tie or take the lead in this one, as we get ready for the top of the 7th inning here on the Trinity Tiger Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network. Caleb Reed joined by Reed Rosales here. First game after spring break for these Trinity Tigers, as they went a very, very impressive 7-2 over the break. Their only losses coming against UMHB. It was great to get to listen to the games while I was off taking a little break. But it's always good to finally be back on campus and actually back in a routine again.
Arce trying to get back in her routine, because if the Tigers win this one, they will certainly earn it going against the most dangerous bats that the Celts have to offer.
Called strike there as Lupion tried to bunt it, and it'll even the count up at 1-1. both of these teams coming in off of 4-game win streaks. One of those streaks will be broken here today. And Trinity trying to prevent it from being them. Bowser tried to frame this one in the zone, but just unable to. And so it'll make it ball number 2 here and a 2-1 count. Lupion so far today, 1 for 3 lined out in her first and third plate appearances as this one is past the glove of De La Luna and will be the first base hit of the inning.
Base hit, Haley Lupian.
As Lupian able to get on there and able to beat the shift. Trinity had brought their infielders in, and it just goes past the glove there. You can see on the replay.
Yeah, it looks like the Tigers were expecting a bunt drop, but instead, Lupian wisely slashes it. And, you know, when you're playing that far in, you do not have enough time to react to a ball coming at you, even if you are the hot corner.
Up next to bat is Jalen Simmons, who hits this one into center field. Going over is Watson, unable to get there as the throw is into second. And a good little hit there. Nice little blooper goes right into the gap between second and center. And as you see on the replay there, Trinity unable to do much about that one.
And now, meeting in the circle, doesn't look like any coaching staff coming out, so they're willing to stick it with RC. But with Chloe Bennett at the dish, there's so much to say about her and how good of a bat she has. She has the power to leave ballparks. The question is, can she leave it in San Antonio? It would put St. Thomas at a distinct advantage. And RC just trying to get the first out of the top of the 7th.
RC checking the wristband and now getting ready to go against Bennett. This one in for strike number 1. Bennett so far today reached on a walk in the 5th inning and then also got a base hit in the 2nd. Also flew out in the 3rd, but has not scored in a run and has not scored a run herself. See if she can do one here. Lays down the bunt, drops right in front of home. The throw over to first is in time. Thought about any further defensive plays, but decides to let the ball sit, and instead a sacrifice bunt to move the runners 60 feet forward. So now runners on 3rd and 2nd with just 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, that was just an unbelievable bunt laid down by Bennett. So textbook. The spin made the ball stop in front of the batter's box. It was quite incredible. She does her job. And now the Celts threatening to take the lead.
Wind up in the delivery. This one a bit too far inside for ball number 1. And a big spot here for the sophomore out of Thousand Oaks, California. She started this game, got hit around pretty badly in the top of the 5th, but has really come back since. Drops this one right in front of home plate as Bowser stares down Lupian the entire time, making sure that she doesn't try and run home.
And bases loaded will not be the worst situation as you get force outs at every base. But right now it is a sticky situation for RC.
2-0 coming up. This one in for a strike. And going to make it 2-1 here.
And you can see why she's attacking high. Just trying to get the batter to hit under a ball, make it an easy pop fly in the infield. And the infield specifically, because if they hit it to the outfield, you know that run's going to score.
This one fouled back, and so count even at 2-2. And this would be a big, big spot for RC's 6th strikeout of the night.
RC's walked a tightrope since really the start of the 5th inning. Just trying to close it out cleanly, but traffic on the bases.
Swing and foul back once again off that foul netting that is kept us here in the pavilion very safe over the course of this season. Very, very thankful for the field renovations, which of course gave us new new netting, brand new turf, brand new dugouts, and it makes this a great place to play. Batter calling time here, trying to just get the rhythm back, is Mallory Munson. And we'll see what Munson is able to do here on the 2-2. Swung on, foul back once again. So count stays even.
And, you know, with Charles on deck and Gonzalez in the hole, you don't want to pass it to Gonzalez specifically with their batting average. You have just two batters waiting that want to get the first hit against RC.
RC getting ready here. Wind up on the 2-2. Swung on and foul back once again. A very long at-bat here between Jordan RC and Mallory Munson. Just a reminder that this is not the only game that these two teams will be playing. This is game number 1 of a 3-game triple header. Games number 2 and 3 coming tomorrow afternoon. First pitch for game number 2 at noon, and first pitch for game number 3 coming a few minutes afterwards. This one swung on and dropped foul, so the at-bat will continue.
Yeah, and all props to Munson. Just being so sound at the plate, keeping herself alive, not going down via the strikeout. She wants to put the Celts in the lead.
She can do it with one swing. RC trying to prevent that on the 2-2. Bit too high. Gets away from Bowser. The play at home. In time! Fantastic defensive play by the Trinity Tigers. They do not let the error affect them. And instead, it is now 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning.
And Coach Frobes is not happy with it. She thought that an arm got in there to touch home plate. And you saw in the replay, it was an especially close play. Bang, bang. But RC just so hyped after the fact. And that is just, it's such a big play, as both umpires are going to talk about it. If it stands, not only is it the second out, there's no sacrifice fly opportunity anymore. We'll get another look at it on the replay. Just the toss over. RC puts it in, and it looks like maybe a hand could have come in, but the umpires can't send it to New York. They send it to themselves, and umpires are rarely going to change their own calls. So, unfortunately for the Celts, the run to tie the game won't score, at least just yet.
And it looks like that hand might have gotten in there in time. So Trinity getting away with a big one there, as that'll be the second out of the inning. Swing, throw over, end of the ball game. Fantastic play. The Trinity defense comes in clutch, and they take game number 1 of the triple header against St. Thomas, 4-3. Your final score from San Antonio.
And maybe this game ending with a little bit of controversy on the call. It's going to make the games tomorrow that much more competitive. And the Tigers, they've talked about going on the revenge tour, getting back at all the teams that beat them in this previous season. And Jordan RC, even though she found herself in trouble, she bent but did not break. And it's a 1-run victory for the Tigers, which was exceedingly hard to come by last season. Just credit to both sides of the ball for the Tigers.
Seeing the play,
you'll see there that the Celts are certainly not going to be happy with that play. And when they see it on the stream later tonight, they're going to want to win badly tomorrow. But for now, the Tigers have the series advantage.
It's going to be an absolutely fantastic game tomorrow afternoon. Reed Rosales is going to be the main play-by-play guy for those 2 games. Should be some absolutely fantastic Saturday afternoon softball between these 2 squads. Jordan Arce going to be picking up the win. Went the complete game. It's going to be her 6th complete game of the season. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, of course 3 runs allowed, all of them marked as earned. 5 walks and 5 strikeouts allowed. Meanwhile, over in the visiting side, Strasserman, the starter, went 3 2/3 innings before being replaced by Trott. Both of those players combining for 6 total innings pitched, 8 hits allowed by the Celts, and 4 runs, all of them earned. Strasserman ends the day with 4 strikeouts, no walks. Trott ends with 1-1 in those 2 categories. And Trinity picks up the win in game number 1 to extend their season record out to 16-7 overall on this 2024 campaign. So that will do it. Trinity wins it 4-3 in thrilling fashion. The defense coming in clutch to pick up yet another win on the season and go undefeated so far in conference play, and we will see what they are able to do tomorrow. But I have been Caleb Reed with Reed Results. Thank you to everybody in the control room for making this a fantastic product to watch, and thank you, the viewers, for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow afternoon. Take care, everybody, and have a great night.